Alright guys and gals, Dave Yarnell here again. I just uploaded my first book preview video to this new Forgotten Strength Secrets YouTube page, which I named after my Facebook group. It's been around for 10-11 years. I have like close to 10,000 followers. But I thought it'd be good to name the YouTube channel, even though I do have another YouTube channel with my name, and that has a lot of stuff on lifting. It also has a lot of other stuff. The new Forgotten Strength page is going to be just dedicated to pretty much old school lifting stuff, previews of my books, and things like that. So I did the first upload for the page was about my Culver City book, which is a 400+ page book. Here's another, even more, it's like 413 pages, and it's the same price on Amazon, which is at the moment $21.95, which is a really good price for everything you get in this book. So it's the old school back training Bible, and it's focused on the deadlift, but it goes into, you know, all sorts of phases of development of the back, and even some therapeutic things for back problems is in here. So it talks about, obviously, some of the great deadlifters and just strongmen of the past, such as, you see here, first article's flat back, and talk about Louis Cyr, who had that big platform lift, and though it was claimed that Mr. Anderson broke it, that is seems to be a dubious claim. It still seems like Louis holds that one, Louis Cyr. Herman Gorner, you got to talk about him, and we talk about him for like at least 50 pages in here. And then we talk about Kurt Saxon. Don Cundy was another great deadlifter. Bob Peoples. Bob Peoples was the guy who influenced Vince Anello, and Bob Peoples was very strong deadlifter, had rather unusual style, but it's interesting that Vince Anello kind of copied his style, and he was kind of a mentor to Vince, not in person, but he would, let's just say Vince was inspired by Bob Peoples. All right, so then we talk about different pieces of equipment, different experiments. Let's go into some stuff here. So there's Rigolo, just standing there upright with an old school barbell. And again, all of these series of books of mine, Forgotten Secrets of, are these big, chunky, coffee table style books, full of great pictures, reprints of old articles from various magazines. There we go, there's the old, and that's an old school kettlebell, the kettlebell swing, which we talk about in here. Talk about Evolution of Milo Barbells, which was written by a friend of mine who unfortunately has passed away, but it was a good book. If Reuben Weaver, if you're into all that history about Milo Barbell and how that kind of evolved into York Barbell later. There, we talked about Louis Cyr. There he is, a big massive dumbbell, a statue of him. He is again. All right, we'll go into Herman Gorner. There's actually a Strength magazine, which is not the same as Strength and Health. This was a precursor to that. This was going way back. And so we have Miracle of Might, which is by George Jowett, and about Gorner. Gorner was a tremendous deadlifter. He did a lot of one hand and one finger or multi-finger deadlifting, part of his routine. He always seemed to have kettlebells as part of his routine. There he is out in the open air. And he did like to train outdoors quite a bit. He did a lot of his training outdoors. There he is with his family and out there throwing an old school barbell up. There he is again. So we have pages and pages and reprints of old articles. There's an old health and strength. 3 cents, imagine that. And it's got the Mighty Apollon on the cover. So we'll talk about some of those other older school guys. And then the true story of Gorner's record deadlifts by Edgar Muller. That's another old school article that's out of Iron Man, December of 1949. There he is. So we have quite a few of these type of articles reprinted in here. There's another Strength and Health. Yeah, we're up to 35 cents now as we move a little further into the future. An old timer looks at Gorner. All right, there's another article. There's the Saxon brothers. Some feats of strength that these guys used to do back in the day. And I leave intact some of the old ads for various pieces of equipment and stuff like that you find in the magazines. There's Arthur Saxon. And then we got another one from the 53 issue of Strength and Health about Gorner. There's the cover. And talking about Gorner being the strongest of them all, which is certainly, you can debate it, but he's had to be certainly in the running for that. There he is. Some old school barbells there. There's the old side bend lift. And then we go into an excerpt of Gorner the Mighty by Edgar Muller. And that takes us, there he is, deadlifting. Those Gorner stuff take us all the way up to page 97, which we start talking about Don Kundi. And there's an article by my friend Pete Vono. He's a great iron sports author, good guy, has a blog out there called Brawn and Bravery, which I suggest you check out. Well, here's Pioneers of Power that comes from Powerlifting USA from 1983, which was another great magazine that I subscribed to. There's Don. He's a big guy. That's a short chapter. Then we move into Bob Peoples. And there he is with his record deadlift of the time. You can see he's got freakish upper back development, especially at his side. There he is. And we talk about some of the equipment that he custom made for himself. He was a very very inventive guy. And that's so it's excerpts out of his book. Then we have excerpts and some complete articles. Strength and Health. This is an old one, 1948, talking about Bob Peoples, the Tennessee Hercules. There he is again. Right, move on to one of my favorites, Paul Anderson. Paul Anderson, of course, was not known for his deadlift, but he was certainly no slouch. He deadlifted some pretty good weight. And then we talk about just back training in general. Here's a Weeder article, how the champions developed their massive backs. Pictures. I like these old pictures. They're not pictures, they're drawings, obviously, but illustrations. Pretty cool stuff. Quite a few of them in here. There's more. see The Swing, The Forgotten Lift by John Grimmick, which was also in Strength and Health, and that was March of 1959 issue right there. And there's pictures of it. Again, the whole article is reprinted here. Then we talk about Developing the Lower Back by Charles Smith, 1951, which was the old school Muscle and Power Weeder magazine. There you have Hepburn, another Canadian champion. He's kind of like the Canadian answer to Paul Anderson, you might say. There's Ronald Walker, great British lifter, very well developed back. So we have the exercises. Again, we have these really cool illustrations, descriptions of the exercises, old school stuff. And we have Reg Park, Muscle Power, some of these other old school guys we talk about. Anton Matisak, another old school guy. And again, you see, like I said, we got some ads, original ads from these old school magazines, which are pretty cool. In here, right alongside the text. More pictures. There we go. Jim Windler, another monster. He's definitely yoked, but obviously he talks about deadlifting, and another old school ad. There's J.C. Heisey, who did the 20 rep breathing squat thing he was known for. He's also known for the Heisey Shrug. Talk about that. And here's a Harry Pashaw article with this old character that used to be a regular in the Strength and Health magazines. Pretty cool stuff. There's Reg Park lifting up a car back in the day. More Strength and Health, August 48. So again, and here's an article called Oh My Aching Back, which goes into therapeutic things you can do for your back. Different exercises. Back Ailments by Lloyd Gorner. That's from 62. Another one. Treating Weak Back by Lord Gorner. He has massage techniques and things. And, you know, how long I've been talking, I'm not even halfway through the book. So, like I said, you see there's all kinds of really cool pictures from and reprinted articles from old magazines. And as I mentioned before, and there's another picture of Bill West, which is also found in my Culver City book, Deadlifting Off Blocks. And that's, so we reprint the High Deadlift, which is a West Side article. Goes on and on like this. There's Pat Casey, Powerlifter of the Month. There's Gorner again. Another muscle builder article using the touch system in the deadlift, which is another original West Side. It's a completely reprinted article right there. Peary Raider stuff. We'll talk about Don Blue, who was a great champion deadlifter. Unfortunately, was incarcerated for most of the time that he was a great deadlifter, and had a kind of a tragic end. There he is. Talk about Joe Mills' 75 article, Developing Deadlift Power. He talks about old school guys like Sandow, Hackenschmidt. There's another one, Deadlifting Wisdom from Bradley Steiner. Another, who's always talking about hard gainer routines. Some people poo-poo that, some people like it, whatever, your cup of tea. There's another muscular development article, Guide to Effective Barbell Training. He had a bunch of books too, Steiner. We have various deadlift routines from all kinds of good people. Got Vincenello in here, of course. Bent over rowing, power cleans, power snatches. There's Ricky Dale Crane pulling some nice weight there. He's a great lifter from back in those eras. He's still around, still, even though he's got both his hips replaced, he's still out there competing and doing well. Talk about high pulls. There's a Smitty deadlift. So I talk about these various deadlift variations. There's John Cook, another great deadlifter. We have routines from him. A mini deadlift clinic from Bruce Wilhelm. Don Reinhardt, another great natural lifter, big guy. 14-week deadlift cycle from 1983 Powerlifting USA article. Vincenello, as I mentioned, here he is. There he is. And there's George Friend, who was another great deadlifter. There's Friend and S-step, E-step. Culver City guys again. So again, dynamics of the deadlift. Just another Pete Vono article. He wrote actually a series of articles, dynamics of the deadlift, and they're very good, and they're all reprinted in here. So again, George Jowett stuff, a lot of old school gems in here, and we in the last chapter is just a gallery of pictures of great lifters. Andy Jackson, Wilbur Muller, Benoit Cote, Pete George, Dave Shaw, Doug Young, Eddie Pengelly, Ernie France, Gene Roberson, the Kaz, Pete Cortez, Roy Mason, Apollon. So, you see on the back cover, learn from the old school masters how to develop a massive, super strong back, loaded with training tips, techniques, programs from giants like Vincenello, John Grimmick, Herman Gorner, Bob Peoples, Brad Steiner, George Jowett, and many more. And again, just about me. From book, a couple previous to this was King Squat Rise to Power, the Culver City book, as I mentioned, and a bunch of others. And as time goes on, I will try to do previews on all these books and give you more in-depth information. So if you haven't purchased or seen them before, you at least have a better idea what you might be getting into if you purchase it. Most of these books are also on Kindle, usually for like less than half the price. I believe the Kindle price on this one's probably like $10. Again, the price for the full book. And look at this. Again, it's a thick book. That's a coffee table book, full of pictures, full of cool articles. $21.95. You cannot beat it. You know, you can spend that on one old school magazine on eBay. Certainly for 2 or 3 you're going to spend more than that. So you got the content of a whole bunch of them in here, and all focused on back training. So check it out at Amazon, and you can actually just go to Amazon Books and put my name up, and should come up with a list of my books. But the Old School Back Training Bible's on there, and a bunch of others. So check it out. Also, please check out my Forgotten Strength Secrets Facebook page, and I'm also the admin at Muscle Builder Power / Builders and Lifters, okay, which has 117-ish thousand members right now and growing daily. So that's also pretty cool. Check it out. And my website is christianiron.com. All my books are also available in there. Also, some ebooks that you won't find on Amazon are there, and just lots of cool content there. And it's not just because it's named christianiron.com. All faiths and religions, and if you're an atheist, you're still welcome. And there's stuff there for, you know, Christians if you are inclined to that. If you're not going to get beat over the head. All right, so I'm going to sign out. Thanks. Bye.